I'm so sorry. I've stolen your boyfriend who's making close to $200,000 a year from you. And you were so close to being married, right? Huh? I think it's best that I apologize to you right now for all this. After all, you ran into him and I while we were on a date together, right? Sorry for that. I really didn't think you'd be coming over while we were having a date in the house. What do you mean apologize? I can tell right now that you don't mean anything by what you're saying. All you're doing now is making me even more upset than I already was with you. I was just coming to say sorry, yet you're being so mean to me now. Also, when I found you two with each other, that was around the time I was getting ready to leave Griffin anyway. So I wasn't all upset that I had to say goodbye to him. What really upset me was that it was my own friend who was going out with him behind my back. But I guess I don't care now because this was all going to happen eventually. Trying to act all tough now, are we? Don't tell me you were actually planning on breaking up with your boyfriend when he's making $200,000 a year. I know that after seeing me with him, it really hurt you, and that's what led to the breakup. And now you trying to act all tough like that's not what really happened is only making you look worse. Huh? Just tell me the truth about your feelings. You're really feeling awful inside right now because you lost your chance to marry a man of money, right? That's what I'm sure you feel like right now. Why are you being such a bitch right now, Winter? I thought you just said you were only texting me to apologize, but now you seem like you're having a ton of fun making fun of me. Is that what you really wanted from this? You're the only bitch I'm aware of here. Thinking that you could get married before a woman like me. How dare some little loser like you, who always had to sit in my shadow when you were younger, be allowed to get married before me now? You're a bitch for trying to sidestep me like that and get ahead. Excuse me. At first, I just assumed that the man you were with was some disgusting loser like yourself that no other woman had wanted. But in reality, you'd been with a man who is making $200,000 a year as an office worker. And when it comes to his face, it's kind of handsome. Griffin should have been with me from the start, and that's why he's going to marry me now. I've always been aware of just how much you love making fun of me ever since we were little. But you're right about something, and that's that I'm a pretty plain girl. And I sure was sitting in your shadow a lot of the time when we were in school together. But that is not a good enough reason to have stolen my boyfriend from me years and years later. How lame, you frickin' sore loser. You have already lost to me, so why try fighting back still? You sitting there still whining about being a loser is what makes you so unbearable. Huh? This was my first time ever stealing someone else's man, but it sure has been entertaining for me. I might start to do this more often if I have to, but I've already landed myself one of the biggest fish in the sea, so I don't really need myself another man anymore, especially since I'm his wife now. His wife? Did you guys seriously already get married then? Of course we did. You thought I was going to let a handsome man with all his money get away from me? There would have never been another chance like this for me. And it wasn't even my idea to get married to him this quickly. He's been going on and on about wanting to marry already, that it's driving me up the wall. I see. Well, I guess someone like him would want to get married as fast as possible. Therefore, while he and I are having the best time of our lives together as husband and wife, you go sit somewhere and suck on your finger crying as you watch. I am now the one with a man making $200,000 a year, and I'm going to be the only wife this man will ever have. I just hope you can be as happy with him as you're hoping to be. Shut the hell up, you sore loser. I don't need you saying anything because I'm already happier than I thought I could ever be after talking to you.
Man, that was really shocking for me, Elia. I totally forgot that I was supposed to have a date with you, and then, after I already had Winter in the house, you came home unannounced.
That was really the worst sight I have ever seen. I thought that maybe you'd become sick and that's why you didn't show up, and so I went to your house to see what was up. And when I got there, you had Winter riding on top of you on your couch.
So, I have something very important to talk with you about now. Do you think that you can break up with me now? I have actually been wanting to be with Winter for a while now, and we even have plans to marry.
I thought we'd already broken up. So go ahead and marry her now. I went over to your house wanting to break up with you anyway when you skipped that last date, so there you go.
Thank you so much. Oh, and one other thing. All those things of mine over at your place, you can just toss out.
I gladly will then. Now, is there anything else you have to say to me before I go? You stabbed me in the back in such a way that will scar me for life, I think.
What? I don't really have anything left to say to you now. And if you're looking for an apology from me, it's not coming.
What?
Are you waiting to hear from me my reason for why I wanted to go with Winter over you? I bet you'd just love to know why for your next boyfriend, right? Well, that's a good thing to think about, learning from your previous relationships.
Huh?
So if you want your reason to learn from, here it is. The reason I'm leaving you for her is because of nothing other than your face. Instead of your donkey face, I'd much prefer to have the beautiful Winter by my side. Now, if you don't want to keep losing to all the other women around you, you'd better work on your face's features.
I never thought you were that pathetic until now, Griffin. Not only have you hurt me and have no plans to apologize, you're making fun of my face? Now you've really gotten on my nerves.
You can't stop others from loving those they find more attractive than you. So why should I have to apologize for finding the girl of my dreams? But wouldn't it be enough to just say that I left you for her because of her looks, right? Well, let's just put it this way then. Winter's family has a lot of money, right? Compared to your family, which is filled with a bunch of simple idiots.
That's what I thought. To you, her family having a lot of money is a very important thing to you. Had that not been important to you, then you would have had a very hard time paying off your last settlement from your ex-wife.
What?
I'm sure you just love to make it sound like those were your only reasons for leaving me, but in reality, the reason you left me for Winter is to have her money in order to pay off the rest of that settlement, right? You've been having to pay off that settlement to your ex for months now, and you would much rather take care of it all right now so you don't have to worry anymore, right?
Wait a second. Why do you know about all that? I never told you anything about having an ex-wife.
Sure, my family may be full of just some simple people, but both my parents are always worried about the kind of people I'm with. And since I'm their only daughter, they make sure that they know everything. And when they found out I was dating you, they wanted to know everything about the history you've had.
What?
I mean, why wouldn't they want to know about you, right? You always said that you were making a lot of money, but only ever took me to your place for dates. And when it came to my birthday, you would only ever get me things like tokens for the local arcade and crap like that. That really got my parents a bit worried about you, and so they went ahead and did a bit of deep investigating into you. By using a detective, of course.
They seriously asked for someone to help snoop on me?
And the result from that was us learning about how you have been married once before. And you also happened to have a kid with that woman. I never knew either of those things, Griffin. And before we could tell the detective we'd had enough, they stated that you were also having to pay child support to her every month. That's why you always acted like you had no money at all and would only ever take me to your house for dates.
What?
Now that I think about it, isn't your ex-wife the daughter of a very powerful business owner? Is that why she was not only able to get a lot of child support from you each month, but also that massive settlement from you this year? I was told by the detective that you were so afraid of her parents that you couldn't even fight her in court, and they were able to ask for as much as they wanted from you.
This can't be happening. How could you have figured all of that out, too?
The fact that you chose to hide all of that very important stuff from me is really sad. But you know what makes me the most sad? Hearing from all your friends that all you thought of me was as an easy way to get some money. Thankfully, the detective was able to dig a little bit deeper by going out with your friends and sitting next to them recording everything they were saying about you and I at the bar.
What?
That's why that day I was going to head to your place to break up with you. The date was originally when I wanted to tell you things were over, but you never even showed up to that. So when I made it to your house to see what was up, I got more than I wanted to see. And at that moment, I realized I had no more feelings for you anymore, besides hate.
Wait, Aliyah, I really am sorry for having cheated on you like that, so I think I'll come out to see you so that I can get on my hands and knees and apologize.
Huh?
Can you make sure to keep the fact that I have an ex-wife and a kid a secret from Winter for me? You haven't told her about all of that yet, right?
That's right.
Then please, Alaya, as long as you don't tell her anything about them, I'll apologize for cheating on you. I'll do whatever you ask me to make it up to you. So please keep all of that a secret from her, okay?
I won't tell her.
Are you sure you won't?
You think I really care to talk with a bitch like her anymore? I don't care what she thinks about you anymore and what you choose to keep a secret. I also have no real reason to be telling her anything. Just don't take this as me helping you in any way, all right? I don't want to talk to any of you anymore, so from here on out, we're done. Ties cut. I don't want to even have to think about what you look like anymore.
Sure thing. I will do as you've asked and never talk to you again. It's a promise. Just as long as you promise to never ever tell her about any of the things I've done. Okay.
Hey, Alia, where do you think Griffin and I should have our wedding at? Do you think it would be a good idea having it overseas somewhere? Something like a wedding is a once-in-a-lifetime thing, so I should be going all out, right? Really? So you've come to talk about your wedding now? Well, of course I have. I told you that since I got the man you took from me back, we're going to be getting married now. And last night, I finally had him come over to see my parents. When that happened, my dad was begging for Griffin to hurry up and marry me. I guess neither of my parents ever thought I could reel in a man making $200,000 a year, right? This is turning into a really fast relationship then. But I think you should take it a bit slower so that you don't lose your bearing. Wah, wah, wah. I can see you'll try anything up your sleeve to get us to not have a wedding. Are you trying to buy yourself some time so that you can come and steal Griffin back from me? Well, that's going to be impossible for you. Impossible! There's no way a plain bitch like you could ever win against me. That's not what I'm trying to do. I don't love Griffin anymore. Is that right? Then would you like me to invite you out to our wedding? You are one of my good longtime friends after all, right? And if you want me to give you another title, you're like Griffin's and my Cupid. Huh? I guess we really should be having this wedding overseas after all. That would be even more luxurious of us, and it would make you feel even worse about what's happened. Oh, but I was also thinking about having a more traditional Christian ceremony here in the U.S. This will be my only chance to show you, so I was thinking of doing it right in front of God himself. I have so many things I want to do for my wedding that it's too hard to choose. Then how about you talk with Griffin about that instead of me? He's done both styles of wedding before, so... What? He has experience, so you could ask him what kind of atmosphere would be best for your guys' wedding. So if you're really that indecisive right now, hurry up and ask for his opinion on that. That is one of those things where asking one with experience is best. Wait, hold on just a second. Why are you saying that Griffin has experience with this? Are you saying that he's had experience with both an overseas wedding and a traditional wedding before? So sorry about that. I totally forgot that you'd need to be brought up to speed on all of that stuff. Did you know that he's already been married once before? That's why he has such experience with weddings and such. Excuse me? And when it comes to his ex-wife, she was one heck of a woman. She told him that she wanted to have both a wedding in a chapel as well as one overseas in Africa or something. And so with no other choice really, Griffin went ahead and gave her both of those weddings. She really had a lot of power, I think. But that's what happens when your father is the owner of a large company. Wait a second. What? He's been married before. I never heard anything about that. And wait, what? You knew all about that and you still dated him? Not at all, actually. I had no clue he'd gone through with any of that before me. I only learned about that a few days before breaking up with him. Are you kidding me? Oh, and another thing. There is one other very important thing I have to tell you. Griffin had one kid with his ex-wife before they divorced. He has a kid with her as well? And now he's having to pay a lot to her in child support every month. Which kind of gives me this feeling that he won't have the money to give you a really nice wedding this time around. So that's why it's best that you go and talk to him about the funding you'll have before planning everything out. You're joking. He's having to pay child support as well? And he's having to pay as much as you've made it seem like? From what I was told, he's having to give her close to half of what he makes every year. So when you look at his income with that in mind, he's really only making around $100,000 a year. What? She's able to get that much in child support from him each year? I told you that she is a very powerful father, right? And, well, whatever he did to her that caused the divorce seemed to have really pissed off her mother and father as well. And with the help of her father's lawyers, she was able to get way more than she first asked for. If you're wanting to hear all of the details about that, though, you should really ask Griffin. You have to be lying. You're telling me that my $200,000 a year is actually just $100,000? Wait, that's not your $200,000, right? He's the one earning it all, and that makes it all his. But even if he's not making $200,000 now for himself, $100,000 is still a really good salary. What are you talking about? $100,000 isn't going to be nearly enough for me. Everyone on the news has already been saying that you can't live fancy anymore with just $100,000 a year. Which means that if my husband isn't making at least $200,000 a year, then my dream of being a wealthy wife is never going to happen. Then break up with Griffin. Although he has just met with your parents and everything. And you went through all that work taking him away from me. I can't. I don't really care what you do, though. Has nothing to do with me, right? If you guys do end up having a wedding, send me an invitation, all right? I can go there to see it if I have the free time to kill.
You've really done it now, telling her the truth. You actually went and told her about my ex-wife and my child with her.
I thought I told you this. I wasn't keeping that a secret from her in order to help you or anything. And, well, when she was just talking to me, she really started to make my skin crawl. So in my anger and disgust, I told her about your true history.
Why would you do that to me? I was finally gonna have myself an even better ATM to use. Her family has all that money, and I thought I finally had myself a way to pay off all my debt to my ex-wife and that damn child support. If she runs from me now, how will you take responsibility for it?
Damn, you really don't know how to make yourself at least seem all right.
If this leads to her really leaving me, I will not forgive you at all.
Sure thing. I don't care if you hate me or not.
God damn it. Now that all of this has gone to hell, I'd better start looking for my next walking bank. No, first I have to try getting her to stay with me. As long as I can keep her from leaving me, I'll be okay. Damn it! Because of your goddamn talking, my whole game plan has gone to crap! What am I gonna do, Aliyah? I need to find a way to get that chick to break up with me right now. Hurry up and come help me out here.
Huh? Why are you wanting to break up with her now? Yesterday you couldn't stop talking about how she would be such a great ATM for you, right? You should be happy she doesn't want to leave you.
Not at all. None of this is good. Winter, she's pregnant right now.
What? Is that right?
This morning, I was asked to come see her. I thought she would be asking me to break up with her, but instead she told me she was pregnant. And that's why she now wants me to marry her.
Perfect. You're not going to have yourself a baby with her, and you won't have to lose her.
How the hell is that perfect? I already have myself a new girlfriend now and no longer need Winter.
What? You made a new girlfriend already?
I thought for sure she'd throw me away. So I thought the best choice would be to find myself a new girl right away. I wouldn't say I'm dating her just yet, but I talked a lot with her last night on this dating app. She told me that she's a doctor making $300,000 a year right now. We're both still talking to one another right now, and I'm feeling like she's the one for me now.
In other words, you would have been happier had Winter broken up with you? I see. But now she wants you to marry her because she's carrying your baby, of all things. Things have really spun out of control, haven't they?
That's why I'm asking you to please make it look like I'm a terrible man to her. Tell her about how I had no money to take you on any dates and how I didn't get you anything good as presents on your birthdays. You go tell Winter right now all the bad things about me, please. Then she'll have to want to leave me and find someone else, right?
I'm not getting wrapped up in your massive crap show. If you want to leave her now, you go up to her face and tell her that you don't love her anymore. But just know that if you're wanting to break up with her now, you're still going to have to pay for things like child support afterwards. You have to take responsibility as the father of that baby she's carrying.
No goddamn way! I'm already having a hard enough time as it is paying for my last wife's kid. You're telling me I'll have to pay for 2 different kids now?
You did all of that to yourself. Good luck talking to Winter about that. This is the worst. Griffin has been talking to another woman behind my back. I was finally forgiving him for not telling me about his ex-wife or the child support and was even willing to stay married to him. Yet now he wants for us to break up still? And he told me he would only pay a couple $100 a month to me as child support. So you guys already spoke about everything? This can't be happening. He then started to go on about how the kid might not even be his, like a real jackass. But you don't know that yourself either, do you? Go and have a test done to see whether or not he really needs to pay you child support every month. But if he is the father, he said he was only willing to give me a couple $100 a month. That's too little. He's paying his ex-wife $100,000 a year, yet he won't pay that much to me? Well, you're going to have to talk with him a little more to figure all of that out. It's not like there's a rule behind all of it, and if you really want help getting him to pay you more, get yourself a lawyer. And if that doesn't even help you and you're not able to raise your kid, you'll have no choice but to give them up for adoption. I will not do that. Even if all of that happens, the kid is mine. My parents also said they'd help with my baby, so I'm keeping them. They're going to help? And as for you, Alia, as my longtime friend, you need to help me out here as well. What? It would be impossible for me to have to raise my baby all by myself, right? And both of my parents are not young, so having to watch a baby for me all the time would be tough on them. I need to have someone the same age as me helping out. And why do you think I should be the one to help? Why wouldn't you help? You're not only Griffin's ex-girlfriend, but this is going to be the kid of a man you still love, right? Being able to take care and raise his baby should make you happier than ever, right? So they just let all you lunatics out of the mental hospital? Screw that! It's not that I have anything against the kid, but you're better off aborting it if that's the way you think. It was only a little while ago that I had to walk in on you screwing my boyfriend, right? That mistake you made is never going to change, and I will never forgive you for it. And if you really, really need my help that badly, then let me go and tell both of your parents about how you stole my boyfriend from me first. What? I'll tell them that their daughter went and slept with the boyfriend of one of her longtime friends and then stole him from her. What do you think your parents will think of you after hearing that? They may want to help you with your baby right now, but what will they want to do when they learn that you had that baby with my boyfriend who you stole from me? What? Don't do that! Don't you say anything useless to my parents about that! It's not useless, it's the frickin' truth! You know what? I'm not too far from your parents' house. I might go and talk with them right now about it. At times like this, it really is important to have long-time childhood friends, right? Because we've been living so close to one another forever. I can be to their house in 5 minutes even. I'll start walking to their place right now. After that, I immediately went over and told both of Winter's parents about everything she'd done to me with Griffin. Neither of them knew a thing about all of that, and when her mother heard what I said about walking in on them having sex, she fainted. Following all of that, Winter was asked to go back to her family's house with Griffin, and there was this huge discussion that ended with them both agreeing to take responsibility for what they'd done and get married. But even though they would be taking responsibility for their actions, neither of Winter's parents would support them in any way. After having gotten married, both Winter and Griffin tried to talk with his ex-wife about lowering the amount of child support he had to pay to her every month by using their soon-to-be-born child as an excuse. But Griffin's ex-wife just laughed their offer and excuse off and told Griffin he was going to be paying her that child support until her son was 18. Because of that, Griffin was never able to afford to give Winter the wedding of her dreams, and she had to settle for a speed wedding in Vegas. And as for that fancy life as a married woman she was hoping for, it soon turned into having on and off fights with Griffin all the time about money and the soon-to-come baby. To this day, whenever Griffin has to pay his ex-wife child support at the end of the month, Winter has a breakdown and the cycle of fighting and crying starts all over for the next month.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
You better bring more money with you the next time you show up at our doorstep, or else I'll kick you right back out onto the curb like I did today. You got that? Remember, the entry fee is $500 and not 1 cent less. I would accept more, though. You could also pay in advance if that makes it easier for you. Like, pay $5,000 up front and I'll deign to let you come inside 10 times. I cannot believe that you would treat me so terribly, Mary. I am truly disappointed in you. All I wanted to do was come and give you a gift to congratulate you on your new house finally being built. I never expected that you would try to charge me an entry fee to go into my own son's house. Oh, quit your pathetic whining, Mom. You're in no position to be lecturing me about anything. I mean, what kind of societal reject walks around without having at least $500 in cash on them at any given time? Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. You're dirt poor. You probably don't even have $500 in your savings account. How many more insults are you going to heap on me today, Mary? Charging your mother-in-law an entry fee to come into your house to visit you? I've never heard of such a thing. Do you fancy your house to be some sort of amusement park or exclusive club? Ugh, for crying out loud. We've been through all this before, Mom. Did you forget? Are you going senile or something? Don't tell me you don't remember that the new house we just built cost us over $1 million. So yeah, our house is basically an exclusive club. How many houses in this area do you think are as luxurious as ours? You want to kick back and relax in the lap of luxury in my house? Well, you're not going to do that for free. No matter how many times you tell me that, it's still just as ridiculous as the first time. If you wanted your gift in cash, then you could have simply asked for that. I'm sorry, did you think this was only going to be a one-time thing? Bless your heart. No, every single time you want to come and visit us, you'll have to shell out another $500. It's very simple. You're my mother-in-law, you're dirt poor, I don't want you around. So if I charge you money every time you come over, then you'll never come around. This system will also be great at cutting down on the unexpected visits. Wasn't this a great idea? Oh, I am such a genius for coming up with the perfect mother-in-law repellent system. I should patent it. I would never intrude on you and Ken's private life like that. You know that whenever I come to visit the two of you, I always call ahead to see if you're busy. All I wanted to do today was give you your gift, chat for a little while, and be on my way. So please, Mary, won't you stop this ridiculous entry fee nonsense? Can't we have a normal relationship? Oh, shut up, would you? God, you're obnoxious. It's not my fault that you're dirt poor, so don't come crying to me about that. You should have worked harder. There you go again. Why are you calling me dirt poor? You'll have to explain that to me. I have no idea what you're talking about. Even if it were true, that is no way to talk to any person you interact with, much less your own mother-in-law. It's just the truth. What's wrong with saying the plain and simple truth? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just calling it as I see it. Just what do you think you're seeing anyway? Man, I have the worst luck. Here I was, thinking I had finally found myself a man who was worthy of my time. Ken works for one of the most powerful law firms in the state, and he's on track to become the youngest partner in the firm's history. You have no idea how many women I had to get rid of in order to get him to focus his attention on me. And now I find out that he's the product of a dirt poor, broken home. Ugh, yuck. I felt like I was gonna puke when I found out right before the wedding. It was too late. I was already stuck with him. And you. Mary, that attitude of yours is positively atrocious. You were never like this before you and Ken got married. I remember the first time I met you, you seemed like the sweetest girl. You were so polite and respectful to me. You even told me you respected me for raising such a fine and upstanding man as Ken. I was just being polite. You didn't notice? Pathetic. I did what I had to do in order to get my hands on the single most eligible bachelor in the city. That's all. What? And wow, did my hard work and perseverance pay off. We're officially married. I won. So now I don't have any more reason to play this sweet and innocent act in front of you or anyone else but Ken. I see you finally decided to reveal what you truly are, Mary. Yep, because I've already won, and there is nothing you can do about it, so give it up. If you want to come and see your son ever again, you're going to have to do as I say, cough up the cash or get lost. The entry fee for peasants is $500, no less. Don't have the money? Not my problem. Go get a job or something. I promise you, Mary, you are going to regret this. Oh no, I'm really scared. Would you get out of here already? You're still hanging around outside our house? I can see you from the second floor window. You look so jealous on the outside, looking in at our fabulous lifestyle. Are you gonna cry? Oh God, I hope you cry. I'm not crying, Mary. I'm leaving. Seems like I wasted my time coming here. That's a mistake I won't be making ever again. I'll never come back to this house. And you can forget about the gift I was going to give you. Aw, I'm so sad. I bet you saved up money for years to buy that cheap bottle of wine or whatever it was. I'll pass. I bet any gift we got from a dirt poor old woman like you would be covered in all kinds of poor people diseases and fleas and stuff.
Hey, Mom, I'm sorry about today. I know you were planning on coming over to celebrate the new house being finished with us, but I had to step out for work. One of our firm's biggest clients had a big problem that had to be dealt with immediately.
I understand, Ken. I know you have a very demanding career. Getting called in on your days off must be exhausting for you.
Thanks for being so understanding, Mom. So what did you think of the new house? Did you like the cathedral ceiling in the living room? I know you always liked that kind of design. Oh, and did Mary take you by my study and the theater room? I'm really proud of how those turned out. That house was the product of long years of hard work, so I wanted it to be everything I've ever dreamed of.
Yes, Ken, I'm sure the house is positively gorgeous, although all I was able to see was the exterior.
Huh? You only saw the outside? What do you mean? You came out all this way and you didn't even come inside?
I tried, but I wasn't allowed in. Mary told me that if I wanted to come inside, I would have to pay an entry fee of $500.
What? An entry fee?
She explained it by saying that I should expect to pay a proper fee if I wanted to relax in a house that cost over $1 million to build. And unfortunately, I didn't have that much cash on me. So I took a good look at the exterior from the sidewalk out in front, and I left.
Hold on, this doesn't make any sense. Mary really told you that? Like, for real, Mom? I mean, she knew you were coming to give us a present.
I had a feeling for some time now that she didn't think as highly of me as she let on. Whenever she looked at me, she always seemed like she was examining me, judging me. I can't quite describe it, but it was just odd. But I had no idea she would do such an about-face in how she treats me after all this time.
Wait, what? I had no idea this was going on. You mean Mary was treating you poorly all this time?
She put on a good face when you were in the room, but once you left, she changed completely. You remember when you brought her to my house to introduce her to me and you went into the bathroom? Well, while you were away, she started to ask me about how much my clothes cost, what brand they were, and the like.
Really?
And when I told her the truth, that they were just things I picked up from the department store, she started snickering at me. I believe her words were, "Oh my God, is that all you can afford to buy?" I believe that was the precise moment when she changed her opinion of me.
I don't believe it.
She also asked me about how much the rent was for my apartment. I answered truthfully again, but it seems she was under the wrong impression. She got upset and told me that I should downsize and move somewhere cheaper. It seems that she thinks you're the one paying for my living expenses.
Oh, man. Now that you mention it, Mary's been acting kind of weird about that lately. She's been asking me how much money I'm giving you each month. And I keep telling her that I'm not giving you any money at all, but she just keeps asking, how much, how much, how much?
I feel terrible about this, Ken, but I'm afraid I won't be able to go to your house anymore. $500 is simply too much to pay each time I visit.
No, Mom, you don't need to pay us anything at all. Look, I'm gonna go have a talk with Mary about this. It's not that I don't trust you, but this is just hard for me to believe.
I understand completely, Ken. It must come as a huge shock to you. She's always been such a sweet girl and a wonderful wife for you. You don't need to worry about me, dear. I'll just keep my distance with Mary. We'll find some way to continue to see each other. What is wrong with you? How could you go and tattle on me to Ken like that? He came up to me yesterday and asked me about the entry fee I'm making you pay. Well, I'm sorry. Was I not supposed to tell Ken about that? Why not, dear? Is it because you know you're in the wrong and didn't want Ken to know? If that's the case, you shouldn't have tried to extort me like that in the first place. Shut up, you obnoxious old hag! Seriously, you're the worst mother-in-law ever. You're just as annoying as mother-in-laws are, but without having any money to give us. What? I bet you thought Ken was going to get on my case about that, didn't you? Well, too bad for you. He wasn't mad at me at all. Is that so? I was kinda nervous at first, but he didn't ask me any kind of follow-up questions at all. All he did was ask me if it was true that I was charging you an entry fee, and when I said yes, he just said, "Thanks for telling me." That's all. I told him everything, even the fact that I called you dirt poor, and he didn't even care. He didn't tell me to stop. He didn't tell me to be nicer to you. Nothing. Looks like Ken and I are on the same page. Neither of us wants you in our nice new mansion. Oh, you agree, do you? Yeah. Duh, obviously. After all, Ken paid for that house with his own money. In fact, I bet he cares about the house even more than I do. We can't just let homeless shelter rejects waltz in like they own the place. Our real estate value would plummet. I bet that deep down he thinks that I did the right thing by making you pay to come inside. I wouldn't be so sure if I were you. And just because he didn't say anything to you about it at the time doesn't mean he has nothing to say about it at all. You're just sore that I won and you lost. Ken took my side. He doesn't care about you at all. And now that we've officially established that, I'd say it's finally time for us to end this farce of a relationship. You're no longer welcome in our lives, Mom. Oh? I won't ever let you in my house, even if you do bring the $500 entry fee. You're not welcome at Thanksgiving or Christmas either. And when I give birth to your adorable little grandchildren, you are never going to meet them. You're never even going to see their faces or know their names.
I'm all right with that arrangement. Seeing as I'm going to divorce you within the week, you'll never have a chance to have my mom's grandchildren.
What?
So you can go ahead and cut my mom out of your life. And from this day forward, I don't ever want you to speak to her again.
Wait, hold on. Mom? That's not you, is it? Oh no, don't tell me. Is that you, Ken?
And so what if it is? Is there something that you don't want me to know about, Mary?
Oh no, it is you. But why are you there, Ken? I was texting your mom. This isn't your phone number.
No, it's my mom's phone, but I've been sitting next to her this whole time. I thought Mom deserved to hear from me personally about what my next moves were going to be. More specifically, I came to her house today to let her know that I'm going to divorce you.
What? Ken, no, you can't.
Yes, I can. We're getting divorced, Mary. I can no longer continue to live as your husband. After the way you've treated my mother, I don't think I could even stand to see your face or hear your voice.
Hold on, Ken, calm down, okay? This is all happening way too fast. You're not thinking clearly. Why on earth would you want to divorce me?
Do I really have to spell it out for you? I thought it would have been crystal clear by now. You have treated my mother in a shockingly evil way. You're acting like a character in some kind of cheesy soap opera. Did you think you would just get away with everything you did to her?
But I don't get it, Ken. When I told you about everything yesterday, you didn't seem like you were upset at me at all. All you did was hear me out while I told you the whole truth. You just sat there and listened. You didn't even ask me any questions afterward. I took that to mean that you felt the same way that I do about your mom. I mean, you basically brushed it all off completely. You didn't even look like you cared. You do agree with me, don't you? You don't want your mother ruining our image in the neighborhood with your poor mom coming around, right?
After all this time, you don't understand me at all. It's not that I wasn't angry with you yesterday. I simply determined that you weren't worth getting angry at. Any conversation would have been a waste of time, so I walked away.
Ken?
As the good book says, don't throw your pearls before pigs. If I thought that there was any hope at all that you could change, then maybe I might have given you a stern talking to. But sadly, what you said to me exposed the depths of the corruption of your character. I gave up all hope of there ever being any sort of connection between us again.
Ken, let's talk about this, please.
There's nothing more to say. Or, put another way, there's nothing that I can say that would get through to someone like you. No one who would so brazenly mistreat their own husband's mother is either capable or worthy of redemption.
Don't say that.
I have no interest in reconciling with a person of such low moral fiber as yourself, Mary. Pack your things immediately and get out of my house. There is nothing that will change my mind on this. We're getting divorced. I want you out of my life as soon as possible.
Wait, Ken, let me say my piece. I don't want to divorce you. We've only been married for 6 months. And you want to divorce me over something like this? Oh, you can't be serious.
Something like this? Do I need to remind you of all the things that you've done and said to my mom? You mocked her, called her dirt poor, insulted her clothes, declined her gift, and kicked her out of my house. So yeah, Mary, I most assuredly do want to divorce you over something like this.
But Ken...
No buts, Mary. I'm not interested in hearing anything else you have to say. When my mom begged you to let her into the house to see you, did you listen to her? Did you take what she said seriously? No, you shut your heart and your mind and threw her out. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do to you right now.
Please, Ken.
And let me make one thing clear. You called it my house, didn't you? It is not your house. It was once our house, but since the loan and title are both in my name, once we are divorced, it will forever be my house. Tell me, did you ever contribute anything to our finances? No, not 1 cent. What was yours, and what was mine was also yours, according to you. But not anymore. You're gonna have to make it on your own now.
How can you be so cold to me, Ken? After all we've been through together, we were so happy living in that beautiful house. We used to talk about our future together all the time, Ken. Are you just gonna throw that all away? Please don't kick me out of the house, Ken. I'm begging you.
Would you like the house? All right, I'll sign over the title to you. Then you can pay for the mortgage, property taxes, utilities, and so on. Think you can handle that? Do you even know how much the monthly payment is on $1 million loan? It would cost more than you made in 4 months before we got married.
Duh, of course there's no way I could pay off a loan like that. I know how much I used to make. You don't have to patronize me like that.
Well, then I guess you're out of options. You'll have to say goodbye to the house. Your name isn't on the title, and even if it were, you couldn't pay for it. And to think you had the nerve to say that it was your house. Pathetic. And on top of that, you tried to charge my mom money to get inside.
Come on, why are you being so mean to me, Ken? Don't you think you're going way overboard? Don't you think you're overreacting? You weren't this angry yesterday. If this is how you really felt, why'd you hide it from me? You should have been honest.
Oh, do you think you're in any position to demand full frontal honesty from anyone? I'm not the one whose personality did a complete 180-degree turn the second we got married. So no, I won't take any such complaints from a two-faced liar like you.
Two-faced?
And now let's move on to your treatment of my mom, shall we? My mother is the only reason that I was able to become the man that you married. All my success, all that I am, everything is thanks to her. My father passed away when I was still an infant, leaving her to raise me all by herself. In spite of that, she supported me through college, through law school, through the bar exam, and through my interviews with my first law firm. Every time you insulted her, you were insulting me too, and I will never forget that.
Hey, Ken, look, I guess maybe I kinda got carried away with my excitement about the new house. I'll apologize to your mom about yesterday. Really, what was I thinking? Charging her $500 to get in? I was acting like a total moron. So please, don't divorce me.
I already told you, Mary. You're too late for apologies. Pack your things and get out. I'll have my secretary draw up the divorce papers. She'll contact you when they're finished.
Thanks a lot, Mom. I'm actually getting divorced now, and it's all your fault. I will never forgive you for this until the day I die. I'm confused, Mary. What on earth are you getting mad at me for? All that happened today is you reaping what you've sown. Shut up. I'll make you regret coming between Ken and me. You're gonna pay for this, I swear. And when you start to miss me, and you will, don't come crying to me, because I am getting out of this house and never coming back. Did you really think I would miss you after all that's happened between us? I am so glad to be rid of that loser Ken. What woman in her right mind would ever want a mama's boy like him for a husband? So what, he's a rich and powerful lawyer. I hope he'll enjoy being single forever, and I hope you can get used to the fact that you are never gonna have any grandchildren. Oh, don't worry about me, Mary. Regardless of whether my son remarries or remains single, has children or not, I will still be just as proud of him as I have ever been. I'm gonna marry a guy 10 times better than him next. And this time, he won't be a total moron who loves his mommy more than his own wife. I don't care if he lives in a mansion or not. Oh, and by the way, I'm gonna get a ton of money in alimony from Ken. It'll be more than enough to start my life over. I'm gonna use it to buy some super sexy clothes and go to the clubs where all the rich men hang out. What's that? Alimony? What are you talking about? Oh my God, are you serious? You don't know what alimony is? Now that Ken is divorcing me, I'm gonna get half of all his stuff. I decided that I wouldn't bother waiting until the lawyers settled everything. I went ahead and withdrew half of the money in his savings account right before I left the house. I now have $200,000 to spend, and boy, am I gonna spend it. With this much money, I could live in total luxury for at least a year. Mary, no! You can't do that. That's a crime. Huh? Yes, you'll be entitled to some of his assets in the divorce, but don't forget you've only been married for a year. Furthermore, money he had saved up prior to your marriage isn't subject to division during the divorce proceedings. You don't just get to walk away with half of everything he's ever earned. Wait, really? Yes, really. You need to return that money right now. You'll just have to wait until the lawyers calculate exactly how much you'll receive. But it's too late to return it. I already spent a bunch of it. Oh, heavens, Mary. Oh, what have you done? Well, what was I supposed to do? I need a place to live, right? I just got divorced today. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do now. So I just went to the closest apartment to our house and signed a lease for $5,000 a month. And, well, I bought a nice new handbag, or two. It was a good deal, though, only around $10,000 or so. Oh, no. So, do I have to give all of the money I took back? Obviously, yes. And that includes whatever you've already spent. Uh-oh. You should be glad you only spent $15,000. That shouldn't take you very long to work off. I mean, I earned that much in just 2 months. What? If you think earning $7,500 a month makes me poor, you must be earning far more than that. So yes, you'll be able to repay him that much in no time. Honestly, I don't know what you're so worried about. Hold on. Did you say $7,500 a month? You make $7,500 a month, Mom? How much do you make in a year? Well, when you include annual bonuses, I suppose my income is probably a bit north of $100,000 per year. 100,000? You make that much? Why, yes, Mary, I do. You seemed convinced that I was a poor single mother, but I've never really wanted for money at all. In other words, I could have paid your silly $500 per visit if I really wanted to. But I didn't want to, and so I refused. That's all. I had no idea. I thought you were just going to be a burden on us. I thought we'd have to support you for the rest of your life. Well, you thought wrong. Now, as I said, go and return Ken's money as quickly as possible. Don't forget, your ex-husband is a lawyer. I wouldn't try any funny business if I were you. If you're not careful, you might end up digging a deeper hole for yourself than you already have. Mary managed to return all the money she took from Ken. I understand she had to go to her parents to have them loan her the $15,000 she had already spent. She also moved back in with them and started working a part-time job to pay them back. It will take her some time to pay it all back, but she's giving them a few $100s every month. Unfortunately for Mary, in a bizarre twist of fate, the company that she ended up working for was the same company that I work for. I occasionally see her around the office, but it seems that she's not so keen on interacting with me. The moment she sees me coming, she immediately starts running in the opposite direction. It's gotten to the point that she's even been taking days off when she knows that we'll be working in the same area. The temporary staffing agency she's going through seems to be fed up with her constantly taking time off and are likely to terminate her in the near future.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.
Hey, David, quick question. Which shade of white do you prefer for the wedding invitations? I've narrowed it down to pearl or ivory.
Doesn't matter. They're both white.
Actually, I'd really love your input. The designer showed me how they catch light differently. Pearl has this little subtle shimmer, while ivory has a warmer tone.
Just pick whatever.
Well, yes, the designer said the shade sets the tone for the whole wedding theme. Could you just take a quick look?
Whatever you think is fine. You're good at these things.
I know I can choose, but I want us to decide together. This is our first big wedding decision.
We're making this more complicated than it needs to be.
It would mean a lot if you could help decide. This is our wedding, after all.
You're overthinking it. Just pick one.
I've been doing most of the planning alone. Could you just at least look at these samples?
Fine, show me.
Thank you. I'm sending photos now.
Still waiting.
Speaking of decisions, what do you think about these dress options? Which one would suit me best?
Huh? Did you send something? I haven't seen anything.
They're right there in our chat. Could you refresh maybe?
Nothing's shown up.
David, I literally just sent them. Could you please look? We need to choose a dress for this weekend's appointment.
Sorry, been swamped with work. Too busy to check photos.
I took time off work to look at these dresses. Could you just spare 5 minutes?
Can't you ask your friends?
I want my future husband's opinion. These photos shouldn't take more than a minute to look at.
I trust your judgment.
It's just 3 photos. Could you look when you have a moment?
Oh, is the appointment this weekend?
Yes, I've mentioned it several times. I even put it in our shared calendar.
I thought that was next month.
No, it's definitely this weekend. I confirmed with you last week.
Oh, shoot. I have a client at dinner this weekend. Can't make the appointment.
You're canceling again? This is the 3rd time.
Business comes first. You'll understand.
Another absence. You've missed the last 2 appointments as well. Last week, it was a business emergency. The week before was a mandatory training.
What can I do? It's work. You know how it is in sales.
I'm starting to wonder if you even want to be involved in this wedding.
Of course I do. I'm just busy.
I'm in sales too, David, and despite being temporarily transferred to another state, I still make time to come to every appointment. This is our wedding. We should be working on it together.
You're better at this stuff anyway.
That's not the point. Remember our engagement dinner?
What about it?
Remember when we first got engaged? You said you wanted to be involved in every detail.
That was different. I didn't realize how busy work would get.
Different how? Work has always been busy.
Look, can we talk about this later?
I understand being busy, but this feels like you're avoiding the planning entirely.
Of course I'll help when I can. But when I can't, I can't. Don't be so childish. You're 38 for crying out loud.
What does my age have to do with wanting to plan our wedding together?
You're acting like a bridezilla.
Excuse me? What does my age have to do with wanting my fiancé involved in our wedding planning?
Look, just handle the appointments and preparations by yourself. Like I said before, I don't have any special requests for the wedding. Just decide everything however you want.
But I want us to create these memories together.
You're being too emotional about this.
That sounds so lonely. The wedding planner specifically said couples should attend appointments together whenever possible.
That's for typical couples in their 20s. In our case, it's fine if you go alone. After all, the bride is an experienced woman in her late 30s.
So, because I'm not in my 20s, I don't deserve a proper wedding experience?
It's not what I meant.
I don't understand why you're being like this.
If you were a young, innocent girl in her 20s, I'd understand not being able to decide alone. Plus, wedding planning is super fun then. I want to go to appointments and flirt with my girlfriend. But you're pushing 40 now. You should be able to handle this efficiently on your own.
Is that how you see me? Just some old woman who should be grateful?
Don't twist my words.
But it still feels lonely. Even at my age, this is my first wedding. I want us to work together to create our perfect day. Remember when we first met at work? You said you loved how I put my whole heart into everything I do.
That was 2 years ago. Things changed.
What's changed exactly?
Everything. You, me, us.
Should you be more specific?
Jeez, you're persistent. You hate being alone that much. I'll ask my mom to help.
That wasn't what I was asking for at all.
What's wrong with my mom helping?
What? That's not what I meant at all.
She'll attend appointments in my place from now on. That way you won't be lonely. Starting this weekend, thanks in advance.
David, please don't do this. Your mother already... Sarah, I heard about everything from David. Apparently, you can't even handle wedding appointments on your own. My son called asking me to help you out. I never said I couldn't handle them. I was managing fine. Then why is my son getting involved? Karen, I can manage the appointments. I just believe this was something David and I should do together. You're being too demanding of my son. David is busy with work, yet you keep pressuring him. I hear you've been bombarding him with dress photos too. 3 photos is hardly bombarding anyone. Even 1 is too many if he's busy. It was only 3 photos. Even if he can't make the appointments, he should just be able to look at 3 images when he has time. He won't even do that much. I just want to wear a dress that will make him happy. As if he has time to look at dresses, and I doubt he cares what an old hag wears. Excuse me? That's completely uncalled for. What, can't handle the truth? Old hag? You heard me. Why are you acting surprised? Look in the mirror, and don't think I haven't noticed how you try to act younger than you are. I don't act any particular way, I'm just myself. Your self is too old for my son. I'm not acting anyway, I'm just being myself. Oh, a desperate woman trying to plan a young bride's wedding. Seriously, at your age, you can't even choose a dress by yourself. I don't know why my son is marrying such an indecisive person. At your age, anything you wear will look the same. You don't need to be so cruel about my age. I'm being kind by helping you at all. That's unnecessarily cruel. You're far too sensitive. I'm just being honest. You should be grateful my son even looked your way. I've been nothing but respectful to you, Karen. Respectful? You've been manipulating my son. I know you don't like me, but how long are you going to keep bringing up something I can't change, like my age? Will your snide remarks somehow make me 8 years younger? Don't you dare take that tone with me. How dare you talk back? Know your place. And what exactly is my place? Below me, below David. Always. My place. I'm trying my best more for his sake than my own. I want this to be the perfect wedding for him. That's why I'm working hard at the appointments alone. How can you be so cold to someone putting in that effort? Perfect for him or perfect for you? Shut up. Don't act high and mighty. You're just the bride. But you do have a point. I hate that an old woman like you is the bride. But the wedding will be a wonderful day for everyone to see my son as a groom. So, from now on, leave everything to me. What exactly are you suggesting? I'm taking over. All of it. What do you mean? I just contacted your wedding venue. I'll be taking charge of all future appointments. You did what? Without consulting me? I don't need your permission. You can't be serious. This is completely inappropriate. What's inappropriate is how you've been handling things. David asked me to attend appointments with you, but you'll just be in the way. Leave everything to me. This is still my wedding. Is it? Or is it my son's wedding? No way. This is our wedding. I can't be excluded from the planning. You already excluded yourself by being so difficult. You're currently working in another state, right? It must be difficult coming back just for appointments. I'm trying to help you as your mother-in-law. I've been managing the distance just fine. Clearly not, or David wouldn't have called me. I appreciate the thought, but this is still our wedding. Our? You mean my son's wedding. And don't talk back to me. just shut up and provide the money. David told me you were paying for the entire wedding. Yes, because we agreed that was best. Because of what? Finish your sentence. Yes, because David's savings weren't what we expected. Well, that's about the only benefit of marrying an older woman, so I'll handle everything. You just take care of the payments. You can't just take over like this. Watch me. The venue already agreed to work with me. They agreed? Of course they did. I'm the mother of the groom. And don't even think about interfering. Just keep your credit card ready when I need it.
Hey Sarah, tomorrow's finally the day. Thanks for handling all the wedding preparations.
Handling? I hardly did anything these past months.
Still, you paid for everything.
You're welcome, though I barely did anything. Your mother took charge of everything.
Mom can be overwhelming sometimes.
That's putting it mildly.
Must have been tough working with my mom.
You have no idea what these months have been like.
Well, it's almost over now.
You could say that.
Really? Thank you. Thanks to you, tomorrow will be a wonderful ceremony. So you can leave the rest to us. You can relax at home tomorrow.
What do you mean by that?
Exactly what I said.
What?
You really want me to spell it out? Tomorrow, I'll be marrying my girlfriend instead. You don't need to come. I decided to cancel our marriage and marry someone else.
Is this some kind of joke?
Not at all.
What are you talking about? Canceling our marriage? Who is this someone else?
You'll find out eventually anyway.
No. Tell me now. Who is she?
Well, actually, I've had a new girlfriend for about 6 months now. She's 20 years old. She joined our company and became my direct subordinate.
6 months? The entire time I was planning our wedding.
You weren't planning anything. Mom was.
She's not your girlfriend, she's just your affair partner? And a company junior at that? She's 10 years younger than you.
So what? We have an 8-year age gap too. That's practically 10 years.
That's completely different.
How is it different?
Well, when you put it that way. But still, how can you say this the day before our wedding?
Would you prefer I told you at the altar?
This isn't funny.
Come on, lighten up.
That's not the point. We just got legally married. How could you betray your new wife?
Wife is a strong word.
We signed the papers last month.
Can't help it. You're a 38-year-old hag after all.
You didn't think I was a hag when you proposed.
I had my reasons then.
What?
Let's be honest, you were convenient. I tried to convince myself to go through with the marriage, but marrying an old hag was just too much. I heard older wives were convenient and easy, so I married you. But you weren't that convenient, and now you're useless.
You married me because you thought I'd be convenient?
Among other things.
What? That's why you married me.
Did you really think it was for love? You should be more grateful I even considered marrying an old hag like you.
After everything we've been through.
Through what? A few dates? Some wedding planning?
Excuse me?
The only good thing was your money. But you're so nagging. When I thought I could dump all the housework on you, you had to move away for work right after we got married. You're really a useless old hag.
So that's what this was all about.
Finally catching on?
So now you're marrying a younger girl? Don't mess with me. Stop looking down on me like this.
Wow, this hysterical behavior is so typical of old women. Or maybe it's menopause.
You've changed so much.
No, I just stopped pretending.
What did you say?
Anyway, don't come to tomorrow's wedding. The wedding with the old hag is canceled. You're no longer needed.
Actually, I think you should keep your plans for tomorrow.
What?
We're definitely having the wedding as planned.
Are you stupid? Did you listen to what I said? I'm marrying my young girlfriend, not you.
Oh, I heard everything perfectly.
Why are you being difficult?
I heard your story perfectly well, but actually, I was never planning to wear a dress tomorrow anyway.
Huh? What are you talking about? Don't tell me you knew about our affair. And you still humbly helped with our wedding preparations? Not bad for an old hag. You know your place.
You really don't understand what's coming, do you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Please enjoy tomorrow's wedding. We'll discuss the divorce details after the ceremony.
You're acting weird. Whatever. Just stay home tomorrow. What the hell, Sarah? My mother just arrived in a wedding dress.
Oh, did she? How does she look?
This isn't funny. What's going on?
Isn't this what you wanted? You gave her full control after all.
This isn't what I meant.
Oh, don't be too angry with Karen. She wanted to walk down the aisle with her son. That was your mother's wish.
This can't be happening. I have to walk down the aisle with my mother?
You're acting surprised. Didn't you check any of the wedding details?
Stop playing games.
I told you, didn't I? I was never planning to wear a dress. Karen was always going to be the one in the wedding dress.
This is insane. All the guests are staring.
Of course they are. It's not every day you see a mother-son wedding.
No. This makes no sense. Wedding dresses are for brides. Why is my mother wearing one?
You really should have attended some of those planning meetings. This is what happens when you ask Karen to handle the appointments. This is the result. Don't complain when you didn't even help with the planning.
You could have stopped this.
Could I? How? You asked Karen to attend appointments in your place, right? Then she declared, "I'll take charge of everything," and started making a fuss about how an old hag's dress looks the same no matter what. If she's wearing one, I might as well wear one too.
But you're the bride. You should have put your foot down.
Am I? I thought you were marrying your girlfriend today.
And you allowed that?
You made it very clear that Karen was in charge. Of course, I wanted to object at first, but you remained indifferent to our wedding, and I stopped caring enough to object.
You did this on purpose.
Did what? I just followed your instructions to let your mother handle everything.
What?
So I stopped attending appointments as Karen wished. The venue kept calling me with concerns, saying, "Are you sure this is okay? We're on the bride's side." But I politely declined and told them to let my mother-in-law do as she pleased.
You should have told me.
Like you told me about your girlfriend?
That's different. Nobody wanted to see my mom in a wedding dress.
Really? She seemed quite excited about it. I had a good laugh at you yesterday. You were thinking we had prepared the wedding for you? How could you be so naive?
What have you done?
Me. I was just there to pay the bills, apparently. Karen did everything else. But I'm grateful for your naivety. I hadn't noticed your affair at all, so thank you for revealing it yesterday. Thanks to that, I've gathered quite a bit of evidence in just half a day.
Evidence? What evidence?
Would you like the full list?
What?
I immediately contacted your company after that. They told me your work schedule for the past few months, which proved all those weekend client dinners were lies.
You had no right!
As your wife, I had every right.
What?
Quite a few people had noticed your relationship. Working overtime together when you weren't busy, disappearing together during lunch breaks. Everyone told me all sorts of things. Your coworkers are very kind.
They're lying.
Should I forward you the photos they sent?
No way. I thought we hidden it perfectly.
You weren't as clever as you thought. Some even had decisive photo evidence. Apparently, you were quite disliked by everyone except your young girlfriend.
They're just jealous.
Of what? Your ethical violations?
Huh?
I heard you heavily favored your girlfriend while being harsh to other juniors, even blaming them for her mistakes.
It's not true.
Human Resources has a different opinion.
Well, that's...
And finally, someone caught you. They have photos and videos of you two sneaking out of the office and entering a hotel. They were about to report it to the company.
You can't prove anything.
The hotel's security footage says otherwise.
No.
After the wedding, we'll have a meeting. You, the company, and me. We have lots to discuss about compensation and your future at the company. So, be prepared.
Sarah, wait!
Better hurry. Your mother's waiting to walk down the aisle with you. Sarah, what is happening? Who is this young woman with David? Oh, you haven't met her. That's your son's girlfriend. What girlfriend? You're his wife. Not for much longer. Sarah, what is going on? David showed up with another woman. Did you like her youthful appearance? She is more your preferred age range. Stop being cryptic. What's happening? He's leaving me for her. Apparently, he was having an affair with his junior at work. An affair? My David would never. Your David has been doing exactly that for 6 months. What, so you two are getting divorced? Isn't this what you wanted? A younger daughter-in-law? This isn't what I meant. Yes, we'll divorce immediately, and I think David will marry her right away. Isn't that great, Karen? Your next daughter-in-law is a cute 20-year-old girl. 20 years old? She's barely an adult. She's going to be my daughter-in-law? Too young to manipulate, perhaps? What are you implying? Oh, is she perhaps too young for your taste? Shut up! That's not the point! She's still better than a woman pushing 40. Young girls are usually more docile and obedient. I'll thoroughly train her as a proper daughter-in-law. Good luck with that. She seems quite strong-willed. What do you mean? Oh, just wait until you hear about their workplace drama. Workplace? Please, take good care of them both. They'll probably be fired from the company. Fired? What are you talking about? Oh, did David not mention that part? What? Fired? You see, his partner is a company junior. They were apparently engaging in their affair during work hours. So they'll likely face severe consequences. During work hours? The evidence is quite damning. What? The annoying, almost 40 wife will disappear soon. In exchange, please take care of them both. They'll probably lose their savings too when they have to pay compensation. Compensation? What compensation? The company takes ethic violations very seriously. Wait, they're not going to move in with us, are they? Where else would they go? They won't be able to afford rent. This isn't happening. Think of it as a chance to bond with your new daughter-in-law. Well then, please enjoy your lovely wedding. Wait a minute, this is your fault. My fault? I'm not the one who had an affair. You must have driven him into it. Just like you drove him to have this lovely mother-son ceremony. That dress was my right as his mother. And now you have a 20-year-old to share clothes with. You planned this somehow. I just paid the bills, remember? You planned everything else. You knew about this. I knew as much as you did. Nothing until yesterday. You're lying. Ask your son about the hotel footage if you don't believe me. There's footage? Oh, yes. Quite a lot of it. The company will show everything at tomorrow's meeting. Meeting? What meeting? You should ask David about that, too. Enjoy your ceremony, Karen.
Hey, what's going on, Sarah? At the end of the wedding, the venue handed me today's bill. They said it needs to be paid by this weekend? Didn't you already pay for this with your money?
Actually, there's been a change in the payment arrangement.
What kind of change?
Remember all those times I tried to discuss the budget with you?
That was months ago. I thought we already agreed that you pay.
That was the plan, but I changed it at the last minute. Remember when I said the venue kept calling with concerns when Karen took over? They also asked about payment then. They even asked, will you really be paying for this kind of wedding?
What kind of question is that?
The venue wanted to be sure they'd get paid.
But you had no right to change anything.
I had every right. I'm still your wife, remember?
When did this happen? What did you tell them?
They probably didn't want payment disputes after the ceremony, so they double-checked in advance. That's when I decided to request some changes. I asked them to change it from advance payment to payment after the ceremony, and to change the payment account from mine to yours.
Can't do that.
Already did.
What? You did that without permission?
Just like you started an affair without my permission? Marriage is convenient in times like these. Being your wife meant I could make changes without you.
This is theft.
No, this is karma.
No way.
So, good luck with paying for today's wedding. Karen really went all out. The wedding dress and reception dress alone cost $100,000.
You're kidding. How expensive are these dresses?
I know, right? Your mother has expensive taste. She said she deserved only the best. She told me anything an old hag wears looks the same. Yet the venue staff said she just was very particular about choosing her own dress. Apparently, it took 3 days just for fittings. And she chose the most luxurious dress available.
She wouldn't do that.
Check the itemized bill. It's all there.
You let her spend this much?
You told me to let her handle everything.
No. I have to pay for this? Being forced to walk down the aisle with my mom in a wedding dress? My girlfriend crying in shock? All while receiving cold stares from all the guests? I have to pay for this hellish wedding?
A hellish wedding suits affair partners perfectly. And tomorrow, we'll have our hellish meeting. Let's do our best, shall we? You should learn that actions have consequences, David.
Sarah, please. Can we talk about this?
Oh, now you want to talk? After 6 months of, I'm too busy.
I'll make it up to you.
Make up what? The affair? The lies? The insults?
I'll pay you back for the wedding costs. Just call off tomorrow's meeting.
You mean your wedding costs. The venue has your name on the bill now.
Come on, there's no way I can afford this. You know I can't afford $100,000 for wedding dresses.
Oh, should have thought of that before giving Karen carte blanche. That's just the dresses. Have you seen the full bill for Karen's dream wedding?
What do you mean? What else is there?
The crystal chandeliers, the imported flowers, the 12-piece orchestra. Your mother has expensive taste.
No, stop joking around. How much is the total?
Remember when Karen said, if an old hag's money is paying, we might as well go all out?
Sarah, please.
Well, she certainly went all out. The final bill should be right there. Have you looked at everything the wedding venue gave to you? Because you're going to want to take a very good, hard look.
Give me a second. $350,000? This can't be real.
Oh, it's very real. Every receipt has your signature. Well, Karen's forgery of your signature, but as your mother, acting with your permission.
My permission? I never gave permission for this. I never gave her permission to spend this much.
You gave her full control, remember? Just handle everything, Mom.
This will ruin me.
Just like you tried to ruin me.
I'll contest these charges.
With what evidence? Your mother's forged signatures? That will look great in court.
You planned all of this.
No, David, you and Karen planned this. I just paid attention. This is all your fault. Hello to you too, Karen. Sarah, I know you're behind all this. Behind what, exactly? You know what. Behind what? Your son's affair, his firing, his debt? Pretty sure those were his choices. You manipulated everything. I just let you plan your dream wedding. They're moving in with me today. Both unemployed. Both in debt. How's the young daughter-in-law working out? She's useless. Can't cook, can't clean. But she's young. Isn't that what matters? She just cries all day about losing her job. How inconvenient for you. This isn't what I wanted. No, but you got exactly what you asked for. A young daughter-in-law in her 20s. She's destroying my home. At least she's not an old hag, right? A jobless freeloader. And my son. Having trouble paying the wedding bill? He's depressed, won't leave his room. The company meeting must have been rough. They showed everyone the hotel footage. Yes, I heard it was quite detailed. His career is ruined. Actions have consequences, Karen. You think you've won. Oh, I've never played to win. I just stopped playing along. You've destroyed our family. Your family destroyed itself. I just paid the bills. Speaking of bills, how are you handling the wedding expenses? Those signatures weren't valid. Really? You might want to consult a lawyer about that. You tricked me! I let you plan exactly the wedding you wanted. Send me a family photo sometime. And thanks for being such a memorable mother-in-law. Don't mock me. Just expressing gratitude for all your helpful input about my age. You'll regret this. I already have the only regret I need, not seeing through David sooner. We'll fight this! With what money? You spent it all on wedding dresses. You evil woman! Goodbye, Karen. Enjoy your young daughter-in-law. The meeting went exactly as planned. Both David and his girlfriend were fired on the spot for ethical violations. The company demanded compensation for damages to their reputation, and I received a generous settlement for the affair. They couldn't argue against the evidence and quietly signed all agreements. The divorce was finalized quickly, and last I heard, they were all living with Karen. 3 unemployed people in one house, drowning in wedding debt. Sometimes karma works in beautiful ways. The venue later told me that Karen had insisted on the most expensive everything, saying, if that old woman is paying, we might as well get the best. She never once imagined she was actually spending her son's money. The best revenge was simply letting her be herself. In the end, I didn't just lose a cheating husband. I gained a valuable lesson about watching for red flags. Like mother, like son, as they say. At least I got out before wasting any more years of my life with them.
Thank you for watching all the way until the end. If you felt good after watching this video, please like the video. If not, please leave a comment and give us your feedback. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Your comments and likes help this channel grow. We hope you enjoy our other stories as well.